Have you ever considered that you might be at risk of being sexually assaulted? In this video, we are going to address the definition of sexual assault, penalties for sexual assault, Framingham State University's rules and regulations, common responses, and how to reduce your risk.
Sexual assault is forced, manipulated, or coerced sexual activity when any person engages in sexual activity to which they do not or cannot consent. That fits the definition of sexual assault.
Massachusetts recognizes that sexual assaults have the following considerations. A man, as well as a woman, may be the offender.
A man, as well as a woman, may be the victim of a sexual assault.
Also, the victim can be the same sex as the offender.
According to Massachusetts law, sex, anal sex, oral sex, or penetration by any object in any orifice by force or against someone's will is considered rape.
You can't have sex with someone if they say no. You cannot have sex with someone unless you have their consent. Consent is clear permission between intimate partners. To consent to something, like being sexual, means you confidently agree to do it based on your own free will, without any influence or pressure. But consent cannot be given legally if a person is impaired, intoxicated, drugged, underage, mentally challenged, unconscious, or asleep.
Here is a scenario. Rich and Carrie are out at a bar. As the evening progresses, Carrie becomes inebriated and Rich takes her home. At the house, they have a few more drinks and the couple moves to the bed. Carrie goes unconscious. Rich proceeds to have intercourse anyway. This is considered sexual assault. If Rich had done the right thing, he would have respected the fact that she couldn't give consent and not have taken advantage of her.
There are penalties for breaking the law. As defined before, rape is the forcible natural or unnatural sexual intercourse with the victim. There are two types of penalties for rape.
Aggravated rape is similar to rape. However, it also includes the elements of serious bodily injury. It constitutes a joint enterprise or occurs during the commission or attempted commission of certain felonies.
Drugging a person for intercourse involves two elements: the administering of a drug and the intent to overpower the victim to have sexual intercourse with them.
Assault with intent to commit rape involves two elements: an assault and specific intent to rape the victim. The number of offenses determine the penalty.
Indecent assault and battery of a person 14 years or older requires an indecent act and no consent. The acts that constitute this are, but aren't limited to, forced kissing, touching of the genitals, buttocks, female chest, stomach, or thighs.
Here's a scenario. Laura passes out on the floor of a party. Other people at the party begin to draw on her body and chest. She is too incapacitated to stop them. This is considered indecent assault and battery.
Here's another scenario. Erin is talking to one of her friends. A man she knows comes up behind her and places his arms around her waist and then begins to move his hands up to her breasts. She turns to him and tells him to stop, but he does not. This is considered sexual assault.
A Framingham State University student who is found responsible for any of these acts, either on or off campus, can be expelled or subject to any lesser sanction.
If a person has committed any type of sex offense, as mentioned prior, these are the regulations that they could have violated: disruption of the university, physical assault, sexual assault, creating a risk, disorderly behavior, drug policy, alcohol policy, endangering behavior, misappropriation of resources.
Can't recall the event.
Destroy evidence.
Cleaned themselves repeatedly.
Self-blame.
Withdrawal. Powerlessness.
distorted self-image,
shame,
depression, helplessness,
disorganization, low self-esteem,
anger,
anxiety,
guilt,
afraid to be labeled,
underage drinking,
belief nothing will get done,
unsure if a crime was committed,
Common offender responses include minimizing, which is when the sexual offender ducks responsibility for their actions by trying to make them seem unimportant.
Reprisal. Some offenders may retaliate.
There also may be anger and intimidation. Some sexual offenders are not actually angrier than other people. Anger is a tool offenders use. They deliberately appear to be angry in order to control situations and people.
Power plays. The sexual offender uses various tactics to overcome resistance to his bullying, such as berating the victim.
In order to reduce your risk of being sexually assaulted, avoid situations where there are drugs or alcohol.
Rely on your instincts and be watchful for signs of trouble.
Establish and maintain your limits. Use a confident voice and body posture.
Be prepared, alert, and assertive. Ensure you are traveling with a friend or in small groups. Use the buddy system. Never leave your friend behind.
And if you see a situation that might lead to a sexual assault, step in or call for help. Distance the vulnerable person from the aggressor without creating conflict.
If you are assaulted, here are the steps to take. Get to a safe place. If you are in danger or want to report the incident, call for immediate police assistance.
Contact someone to help you, a friend, the police. Get medical attention right away.
If you choose to go to the police, it is best not to shower, drink, eat, or change your clothes in order to preserve physical evidence. As a victim, it is your option to press charges against the offender.
If you are the friend of someone who is assaulted, here's what you can do to help them. It is very important to listen. Let them decide how much they are willing to say. Let them set the pace.
Encourage them to report the crime to the appropriate authorities, but make sure that they understand they have control over their options. In any abuse situation, a victim loses all control. So it is very important to give that control back to them.
If you need counseling or medical attention, there are many resources readily available.
Sexual assault could happen to anyone. Be aware.